Seam, founder of OMG Tax. Tell us how your company helps our listeners out there who have a
listening to WOCA. Time for the Conservative Watch Hour. Turn it over to the girls now. Annie Marie Delgado and Ann Vandersteel. Good morning, girls.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to the Conservative Watch Hour. Happy MAGA Friday.
Happy MAGA
Miss
Friday.
Ann, you there?
Delgado, how are you?
I am fantastic, my dear girl. How are you today?
I'm doing just great. Looking forward to a fantastic weekend. We're celebrating our flag on Sunday. We're also celebrating disrupting statewide MAGA rally, our wonderful President Donald Trump's birthday.
Yeah, now I can hear you. There you go. And it's going to be one heck of a weekend. An amazing celebration that we do have going on across the whole state of Florida. And I can tell you the interest has been off the charts. The participation from boaters to trucks to bikers to our Wings for Trump, which is our drones, is amazing. Amazing.
Don't forget our golf carts.
I'm sorry, Ann. I'm having difficulties hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't forget our golf carts for Trump. Up in the villages.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Our golf carts as well. Yes. And as we know, we're having an amazing celebration on Sunday, this Sunday, June 14th, for first and foremost Flag Day. And that flag represents freedom. Freedom. Yes. And certainly we will also be celebrating the birthday of President Donald J. Trump, which he will be with his family in Bedminster, New Jersey, this weekend, celebrating his birthday with his family. And we want to wish him a restful time, a beautiful birthday, and most importantly, to be able to just, get a little bit of rest and enjoy his family. But we have so many events going on at the same time. Trump Team 2020 Florida, we've arranged events from Pensacola in the Panhandle. They're going out with their boats, and bikers are also joining in that part of the state. And then we go over to Jacksonville, where we have 1,600 plus boats already registered. That's going to be a huge event there. And we go down and continue through the state to the villages, where, of course, we have all of the wonderful golf carts there. And going right straight across the state, we have the Citrus County, and that is our dear friend Billy Casey, and all these wonderful people that I should mention. Bill Fetke is our chairman up in Pensacola, the Escambia chapter. We have Karen Morton and Esther Bird, which are doing such amazing work in Jacksonville there. And, of course, Suzanne Days, which is our president for the Villages chapter, and Billy Casey, they're having at the old Inverness Courthouse, all the trucks and the motorcycles, the bikers, join together, and they're going to be having a wonderful after party as well. And into Hernando County, Kathy Camp, which has done she's just a little fireball, that one. She's done a tremendous job, and they have a wonderful event and an after party there as well. And then we go on over to Tampa, which Tampa has drawn a lot of attention for a lot of reasons. I've been getting calls from the Tampa Bay Times and all kinds of folks, actually, quite frankly, around the whole state and internationally with media, And so Sherry Hinton, which is our lead person in Tampa, and we continue to go down the state into Vero Beach. Rosemary Frigerio, which is the president of the Indian River County chapter, they're sold out. I had to take it off the master list, a couple of them actually, because they're already full and sold out, and they're getting inundated with calls, and we just don't have any more room. And we go down into Martin County and Stewart, where we have the Florida Veterans and Bikers for Trump, Captain Glenn Toner and Vice President Mindy Weiss, that have done an amazing job. They've been doing this since 2015, 2016 campaign. And so all the bikers are going to be heading down from Stewart into Palm Beach County, where certainly we'll have quite the visual on this, where all the boats will be going out of the Jupiter Inlet, in the coastal rather, down toward Mar-a-Lago, and then all the trucks from our chapter, which is Trump Team 2020 Florida, Trucks for Trump, and the president of that chapter is Lauren Danielle, and he is just amazing. This young man has been able to put together, all the hard work. So all the trucks will go down I-95. All the motorcycles are going down I-95, heading down toward Mar-a-Lago. They'll all flip back around, and then from the south of there, Broward County, we have all the motorcycles joining and coming up into a big, wonderful festivity event after party at the Harley-Davidson dealership in West Palm. And then it continues down into Miami at Tropical Park, where they have multiple of our wonderful folks down there. Manuel has been doing this in Tobago, and Rosa Pena and Herb Silver have done an amazing job. They've been out there every Saturday for the last 3 years. Well, we have the Miami Springs Republican Club, the Hialeah chapter joining us. Miami Springs is doing a caravan. Hialeah is coming over. The Conservative Trump Club down there is joining. So in Tropical Park in Miami, it's going to be, just an amazing show of these wonderful patriots that are going to be celebrating our flag. It goes down into the Keys. Now, the folks in the Keys, I didn't organize that one, so I'm not quite sure who's heading that up, but that's how far it goes. So we're talking from the Panhandle all the way to Miami, and this is just amazing. And I want to thank each and every one of the chapter presidents or chairmen and all the volunteers, because we are doing voter registration at every land site as well. It's just amazing. It's amazing, Ann.
Annie, I'm absolutely speechless about the complete support and outpouring that we're showing here in the state of Florida, which, as you know, is always really important for the Republican Party when it comes to elections in the past few election cycles. And, this type of outpouring is really sort of a bellwether for what I think we're going to see in November. And I'm so excited to have this parade and boat rally and Trucks for Trump and bikers and wings and golf carts, everybody showing the support, as we've also now just landed the RNC convention here, which we could not be happier to have in the great state of Florida up in Jacksonville in August. So this is almost like a precursor to, the president coming up and into Jacksonville and, accepting the nomination again to be the candidate to run again for his re-election. It's just, it's so exciting. I guess the question for you is, Annie, how many pieces of birthday cake are you going to eat when you go around from site to site? You're starting to diet now?
That's a good one. And there will be, yes. There will be birthday cakes at all the locations, and birthday card, the signing of the birthday card. I don't know how much cake I can eat, but I'll try and take a little bite here and a little bite there as I run from one event to another event and keep going and showing the support. But it is going to be fantastic because, they also get to sign the big, giant birthday card. And all those birthday cards from all the different locations will be selected together and sent to the president at the White House. But what a welcoming this is in Jacksonville. You're absolutely correct. Where we have, as I said, the last time I checked, we were over 1,600 votes already. And you know how people show up at the last minute, right?
Of course. Well, that's incredible. And, for those that are concerned about safety because of the recent lawlessness shown, particularly in the democratically held states, or Democrat-held states, I should say, you have been in touch with our local law enforcement, sheriff's department, and highway patrol, and they're on record saying they're going to be providing protection, from the local municipality level all the way through to Florida Highway Patrol to make sure that if there's anybody that decides they want to cause a problem, they will be dealt with accordingly. So I really don't expect that, because I've yet to go to a MAGA rally or a Trump rally and ever see law enforcement have to step in and intercede with anybody that's participating. We're the most gracious and kind-spirited group, and we're always having a good time. And if you step on somebody, everybody's always apologizing to the next person. They don't care whose fault it was. They just love the person next to them, and they're there to show their support for our country and for our president, and equally for our flag, because we are a nation of law and order, and we're going to see that come out. And the red, white, and blue will be everywhere on Sunday, and Florida's going to show their support for our president. So exciting.
Oh, Ann, you're so right. You're so right, girl. I'm telling you. And the fact that you brought up about social distancing, which is really interesting. I've been talking to so many different newspapers here, around the country, and also from different countries, Japan, Finland, Norway, on and on, of which they're here and they're going to be joining us. But the one thing is that, okay, when you're on a boat, you're out in the water, you're way more than 6 feet apart, way more. So social distancing is not an issue for us whatsoever. And especially that we follow, of course, all of the maritime laws and the Coast Guard regulations, where they're only, depending on the size of the vessel, it depends on how many people can be on that vessel, and life jackets are provided for everyone that's on there. That's the standard. So we don't have a problem with that, land or sea, and certainly not by air. But because even the trucks, everybody's in their truck, and they're certainly way more than 6 feet apart. And motorcycles, same thing. These people are absolutely social distancing. And even at our after parties, we've limited it to, and that's why I said I had to take some of the locations off of the master list that I have on Trump Team 2020 Florida Facebook site that lists the master list of all the rallies, because we're already full to capacity and we're sold out. And so, that being said, it's easy for folks to join us, via truck, via motorcycle, via boat, very safe. And we've done all of our due diligence to indeed provide security. I've been in conversation with the Sheriff's Department, the Florida Highway Patrol, and they've assured me that everything, they'll be there and guide all the trucks and all the bikes. And they have it in control. They know what they're doing. And I must say, I have to give a big shout out to our law enforcement, Florida Highway Patrol, and the Sheriff's Departments that have been doing just phenomenal work to keep things under control. And if they get out of control, they handle them. They know who they are. They know who these people are by now. So we're here to do something very positive. We're not protesting anyone or anything, but we certainly do stand in solid support of our men and women in blue, for sure.
Great. Well, that's rock and roll then. We're looking for a party. I can't wait to see you down here as we get everybody started and kicked off and circulating around the state of Florida. I certainly hope the president is able to catch this in real time. I don't know if he's going to be here or not, but it'd be great if he was just able to witness all the support with his own eyes. Although I know this is going to be busting up social media on Sunday. I can't wait to see the hashtags out there with all the different entities, from bikers to voters to trucks for Trump. It's going to be fantastic. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Right on. Absolutely. Well, I know that he will be in Bedminster, so he'll be celebrating his birthday at the Bedminster Resort in New Jersey with his family. And as I said, we wish him a peaceful, restful birthday. But I can tell you that all of our drones, this is so exciting and so interesting. Because when people think about a drone, they kind of see these kids with something that's about 12 inches, in diameter, something like that. Wrong. These are all professional registered pilots. And their drones are about 5 to 6 feet wide. They're huge. And so they'll be droning the whole state from the Panhandle to Miami. By the end of the day, we will have the entire footage and video put together, ready to go out. And many of the newspapers and different media outlets have asked me if I would be, sharing that with them. I said, of course. So, an answer to that question, will it get out and will the president see it? I don't know how he could not possibly see it. But we want to show him the love. We want to show that we indeed have respect for the office of the presidency and the man himself. We certainly feel that he has done a tremendous job throughout all of the different challenges that have come forth to this man, which is unheard of. No president has ever gone through what Mr. Trump has gone through. And so we want to certainly let him know and feel and show him the love.
That's right. Where can folks go to learn more about the different events around the state of Florida? They can head to your Facebook page, right?
Yes, Trump Team 2020 Florida on Facebook. Then they just go to the upcoming events, and they click on rallies, and there's a whole list of the rallies right there with locations, how to get there, how they could participate. And let's not forget the most important issue that our organization works on is voter registration. So there'll be voter registration tables set up at all the land locations.
Great. Awesome. All right, Nanny. Well, listen, right today, I don't know if you're paying attention to the news, we've got the General Michael Flynn case. The saga continues because even though the prosecution agreed that this case needed to be dismissed, that's the government, right? Of course, the defense wanted their case dismissed and has been asking for that. And General Flynn changed his plea to not guilty. Particularly, and it's reinforced and bolstered by the fact that the exculpatory evidence was delivered to the court. Finally, finally was revealed the FBI had fudged some 302 documents. Those documents were supposedly the ones that they took notes with respect to their conversation with the general, but then they changed them. So they were caught doing this. We know that they are being called in. Those people will be called in to testify. There's been a list of people that are being subpoenaed, including Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and others that were involved in all of that. I think there's about 52 people being called in to be questioned on this. But that being said, it's clear that the prosecution and the defense wanted to dismiss the case, but at the late gate, Judge Emmett Sullivan in his courtroom decided that he wanted to take amicus briefs and extend this entire process. So now today we're seeing Sidney Powell, giving her arguments to just, to basically argue against the judge's attorney as to why the case should be dismissed and listen to the judge's attorney's response as to why it should continue on and they should continue to get more amicus briefs in contradiction to both the defense and the prosecution to extend why they should have more time on this case. It's absolutely incredible. It's, in my opinion, and many I believe agree, this is such an egregious act of legislating from the bench to drag out a 33-year honored 3-star lieutenant general who served his country with pride and honor and integrity, have his name dragged through the mud. His family has just witnessed something that they felt they would never see after their, family members after General Flynn's service. But this is just not over, and they're trying to. We're in the middle of the orals right now. I've been listening to them prior to getting on the radio, and some of the things I'm hearing, I'm shocked. One of the most egregious, in my humble opinion, was race baiting.
that was being brought into the argument, which makes absolutely no sense. Why one of the judges that's standing up for Judge Emmett Sullivan making an argument that's now bringing in the argument of race baiting? What has that got to do with this case at all? I don't understand how they're going here, because if they're now using this as their podium,
that's insane. That's Beth Wilkinson, right?
Yep, that's Judge Wilkinson.
That's insane. I was watching that. Unbelievable.
What is that about, Annie? The case of General
the tactics that they're utilizing. This is such a disgrace. You know, I've talked to so many attorney friends of mine, judge friends of mine, and they're like, it's ludicrous. They can't even believe that it's going on.
So, how does this end, in your opinion?
Listen, the inevitable. It's going to be thrown out. It's going to be dismissed. They're just, wanting to grandstand and do the same kind of show that they did in the House with Nancy and the impeachment, the bull crap that the nation had to go through. We spent millions and millions of dollars for what? Everyone knew there was no way he was going to be impeached. So it's just their little show. Their little show. He wants to, and don't forget who this judge is and who put him in that bench. Obama,
right. Well, I mean, the Epic did a great job detailing out the 85 different lies, contradictions, oddities, and what they call unusual occurrences in this entire Flynn saga. And to have it land squarely at the feet of Judge Emmett Sullivan, like you said, an Obama appointee, after hearing that both the prosecution and the defense wanted to dismiss the case, the DOJ stepped in and said dismiss the case and have Judge Emmett Sullivan dig his heels in and say, oh, no, now at this late time we're going to take amicus briefs, after he had denied 24 amicus briefs before this point. He wouldn't hear them. He wouldn't even bring in the exculpatory evidence. And finally, the prosecution's like, yeah, well, we delivered the exculpatory evidence here. We know the FBI lied and tried to frame the general. So we're going to rest our case. We want this dismissed, And now the judge is saying no. It's very, I don't know how Judge Emmett Sullivan's going to keep the robe after this, Annie. Seriously, the level of complicitness on his behalf is naked for the world to see. He's standing there without his robe on. We all see him for who he is now.
And that's exactly what should happen. Disrobe him. I don't want to see him naked, but I don't want to see him with that robe. He doesn't deserve it. Yeah, really, I can't get a visual on that, and I don't want to. But I'll tell you what, he absolutely should be stripped of his robe, without a doubt.
He should be. Annie, what do you get a sense on what we're seeing across the country now with these lunatic lefties going around tearing down statues of their own history, right? This is the odd thing here. You've got Republican administration trying to defend and protect a country where the liberals are running around ripping down Confederate flags and statues, which is hallmarks of their history. And they're trying to, project it onto the Republicans as if the Republicans had anything to do with this. We didn't hold the slaves back in the day. We weren't the ones living on plantations. That was all Democrats, the KKK, all of it. And they're trying to destroy their own history now and blame it on us.
Yeah, well, that's what I call it. That's 101 of the sociopath behavior. There's too much of that in this country right now. These people are absolutely, they're insane. What they are doing, and see, that's what it's called projecting. When they project, they're the ones that blame, point the finger and say, oh, no, it's your fault. You people are doing this. But they're the ones that are actually doing it. And they're the ones that actually did it. They're the ones that created the KKK. It was created by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party was the ones that absolutely did not want to free the slaves, quote unquote. And when we look at some of the history, like of what they're doing and what they specifically targeting, we're going to get into this in the second half hour because we're about to take a break here right now, and we're going to continue on that. We're going to talk about some of those locations and who they're specifically targeting, and what's the benefit of this. And then some of these Antifa and what they're doing. What's the benefit of what they're doing? It has nothing to do with George Floyd. So with that, we're going to take a commercial break here. You're on the Conservative Watch Hour with Annie Marie Delgado and Ann Vandersteel of Steel Truth. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
The president is perhaps not giving an accurate or truthful picture.
That's Seattle's Democratic mayor responding to President Trump saying yesterday that he might send federal forces in to try to break up protesters who set up a camp along 6 blocks of Seattle's Capitol Hill district, closing even a police precinct headquarters. Mayor Jenny Durkin says, in fact, it seems more like a block party rather than a violent protest.
There is no threat right now to the public, and we're taking that very seriously. We're meeting with businesses and residents. But what the president threatened is illegal and unconstitutional.
She was speaking on CNN. Stocks up sharply in morning trading as Wall Street's trying to rebound from yesterday's steep sell-off. Yesterday, the Dow lost over 1,800 points. This morning, it's been ahead over 700 at times. And this is USA Radio News.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. Again, that's 800-871-3291.
Owner of Lone Star Transfer. If you have found yourself stuck in a timeshare...
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
June is time for roses, and that's just what Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens is celebrating this week. Bob has hundreds and hundreds of easy care drift roses in colors too numerous to mention here, but get this. It's a BOGO, buy one, get one free on these gorgeous, fast-blooming drift roses. They're in the 4-inch size. They're regularly $29.95. You buy one and get one free. Easy Care Knockout Double Red Roses. They're a great deal at just $22.99. Bob has a huge selection of summer annuals, just $2.29, or get a giant flat of 18 for just $19.99. Dwarf ever-blooming azaleas? Yep, they're still just $3.99 at Bob Wine's. Come on out to Bob Wine's on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4:30. Curbside delivery is available. Bob Wine's, in the same blooming place since 1952.
I'm Scotty, owner of 12 Rounds Boxing, with a personal invite for you to come check out my gym in Ocala, Florida, open 7 days a week from 10 a to 10 p. Come check us out.
As the state of Florida continues to reopen, the Get, Gather, Go initiative moves forward. We encourage you to get informed on how it's safe to go out, gather together with family and friends, and go spend locally by supporting local restaurants and shops, all while still observing personal protection guidelines. Let's support our amazing city. Post a picture while you're out and use the hashtag WeLoveOcala. For more information, visit WeLoveOcala.com.
WOCA.
Clouds and sunshine today, high 86 to 90. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a couple of showers in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. Sunday, cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly later, high 85 to 88. Monday, becoming cloudy with a shower or a thunderstorm around, high 85 to 88. Tuesday, overcast, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
Pals Ocala Auto Repair fixes all makes and models. Pals makes sure that your vehicle's engine, mechanical, and electrical components are healthy at all times. Pals team would much rather see you drive to their shop for a full checkup than be towed in for a complex repair. Give Pals a call today to schedule your next service appointment. 352-414-2984. What? A nationwide warranty, 36 months or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first? Pals looks forward to servicing you and servicing your vehicle. 352-414-2984.
WOCA.
And welcome back to the Conservative Watch Hours, ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful Friday. Happy MAGA Friday to you all. I'm here with my co-host, Ann Vandersteel of Steel Truth. Ann, what do we got going on?
Oh, my gosh, it seems like the left has made a lobotomy. These Chaz, Capitol Hill, autonomous zones, the mayors of Seattle, saying that it's totally justified and lawfully gathering and expressing their First Amendment rights. Meanwhile, they're storming their government property, some of them with guns.
Oh, my God.
And taking over. It's not exactly a peaceful expression of communities' collective dreams.
No.
It's called anarchy.
It is. No, they've taken over that whole area. They took over the police department. The police are no longer. They are occupying the whole department in that area, and the mayor's cool with it. This is insane. This is insane.
It's totally insane.
Well, I really believe it's time. It's way past time to let something like that go on. There are no services. If you're a senior or you have an emergency of any kind, or you have a child in need of an ambulance or whatever, or some of these Antifa anarchy whack jobs decide that they're just going to take your house over now and throw you out in the street and take your house over. There are no police to defend or protect these people.
Annie, I'm not sure they even care anymore. They seem to be quite all right, living in the streets, panhandling, living off whatever they can get from the government. I think this is what they want. They're paid to want this. Let's be clear. A lot of these people are paid protesters. A lot of them don't even come from the area in which the protests are happening. I mean, even Bernie Carrick said, about last week sometime, we had a lot of police officers that were injured. I think there was like 300 police officers that were injured in riots in New York. And it's because of that, because they're not getting air cover and support from Mayor Big Bird de Blasio or Governor Cuomo. I mean, these two people should be just, removed from office. There should be a movement to just get rid of them. Don't wait till November. Just get rid of them. 600 police officers are actually considering resigning. That's a really massive statement, not to mention an impact statement to the city. Where are these people in New York going to go to for protection when your police officers aren't there to show up on the scene? And this is what they don't seem to understand. It's as if they think that they live in this perfectly utopian society. New York City is a melting pot of people, and we know it's a target area for all kinds of criminal activity. There's nothing new, and now you're starting to see a brain drain and a financial drain. People have had it with the taxes, the lack of public service that you get for your taxes. And guess where they're moving, Annie? Down here to Florida, to the good lands where we have a reasonable state governor. We've got no income taxes in the state, and you actually get something from your public servants down here, particularly our law enforcement. We treat them with respect. I don't know what's going on in that state up there. It just seems to be the more Democrats running it, the more lawless it is. They just don't believe in it.
Well, but that's a pattern. If you look and see at every single major city where these kind of things are happening, they're Democrat controlled. The Democrats control them, and they don't control anything. It's lawlessness. It's disgraceful what they're doing. And as I said, because the fact is, if you're a senior citizen and you've had a heart attack or something, or they're not going to provide services. And who wants to live in a place where you're paying these exorbitant taxes and you don't get anything for it? They just leave you there to die. And in New York, there's 400, last time I looked, 420,000 people have already ran out of that state. Upstate New York and Buffalo, they had a tremendous amount of the whole police unit, they all resigned. That they're not putting up with this. And again, when you have Democrats controlling, this is what you see. But I at the end of the day, I continue to ask myself, what is the purpose of these? Because we all know that these people are being flown in or bussed in. They're being paid a tremendous amount of money, and they're handed out the cash. It's all cash.
That's right.
Like bubble gum for these people to beat people, burn their businesses down. You've got these black, beautiful communities. Let me tell you something. I am so distraught about this beyond belief. When I have to look and we watch these videos of these wonderful people, as a small business owner myself since the age of 21, I know how hard I've worked all my life. And when you watch these folks that are out there crying, why are you black people, and screaming at these black people, and why are you burning my business down? I worked all my life for this. So
that's right.
That?
Well, I want to know something. What are they protesting exactly? Are they protesting the most significant tax reform in 30 years? Are they protesting the lowest economic or unemployment rates in minority communities and women in ever in history? Are they protesting? Obviously, it's outside the coronavirus spike we've seen, but again, we're now learning that was truly a manufactured crisis. There's so much evidence. I watched a video this morning on a sidebar here. A nurse from Florida. I'm going to try and get her on my show on Steel Truth. She went up to help out during the coronavirus. She was at Elmhurst Hospital in New York, where they were putting people that were testing negative for corona, and they were waiting. They were actually putting them on ventilators and saying that they were corona positive. She documents this in a video with her own cell phone, her own camera. She documented these patients, patient after patient. She said half her hospital was negative for corona, but they were being treated for corona, and these ventilators were killing those patients. And she said, well, it's public, she said it's public hospital. They need the money because they get paid a lot of money by Medicare and Medicaid. And they didn't care. They were treating people with, as if they weren't people, as if it was a commodity to the hospital. So this is, again, this is Elmhurst. This is Queens, New York. This is Governor Cuomo, the guy who was demanding all these ventilators. Well, now we know why he wanted them. It was all about funding all of his friends. And despite, he has no respect for people, and he put corona-positive people in nursing homes and killed a lot of elderly voters, which probably were conservative voters. Hate to say it, but this is their tactic because they're so paranoid about President Trump being reelected, and they're going to lose again. I mean, other than that, I can just say they're murderers at this point. This is what they're trying to do. They're violent extremists.
Well, Cuomo has so much blood on his hands. To me, again, why is this man not? He should be in prison for what he did. He put patients that the president put the comfort ship, the naval ship, the medical ship, right there in New York. They absolutely, within days, transformed the Kravitz Center into a complete hospital facility. They sat there empty as Cuomo put these patients that were infected back into the nursing homes to infect the other patients.
That's right. It's just
and the staff as well. So all those people that died should be suing him for murder.
I agree.
And he should be in jail. So, I have no idea why. I'm sure that with time, because certainly there's so much happening at one time, and this is all orchestrated and it's been way in place. This has nothing to do with George Floyd whatsoever. Even his own family has said, stop this. Our son would not want this.
So, Annie, I mean, is that what they're protesting? Are they protesting the targeted killing of COVID, of patients that didn't have corona, the lower sociodemographic? I mean, the Elmhurst Hospital is a public hospital. You don't see the super wealthy going there. That is the community hospital that services the less well-off, less fortunate demographic. And they're the ones that were, basically committed to death when they were put on ventilators when they didn't have coronavirus. You got put on a ventilator, Annie? The nurse said 80-90% of the people died. Boom. You did not walk out of there.
They're expanding their lungs. I saw. I've done so much research on that. And what they do, they know that they're going to kill them. They know they can't survive that because it does, and especially in these older patients, their lungs don't expand back down. And so consequently, they wind up dying because they were put on the ventilators when they didn't even have the coronavirus, as we very well know and have established. And there's not just that woman, there's so many in the medical profession that have walked away from this saying, I took an oath. I can't do this. These people, they are intentionally killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that being said, they're essentially these Antifa and these looters and rioters and what they're doing. Okay, so what's the message? How does that help anything when they're going into the poorest of poorest communities and burning them down? Because they know if they go outside of that, and they're being brazen, and they're going to go into white neighborhood now, and I can tell you, people are fed up and people are ready. And they're going to defend themselves, and they have every right to.
Well, in Florida, I can't speak for the rest of the country because I'm not completely up on everybody else's gun laws, but in Florida, we have the stand your ground law. And, your house is your castle. You can defend yourself, and you're protected under the law to do whatever is necessary to defend yourself from anybody who's trying to harm anybody in your home. And if Antifa were to be so stupid and so brazen as to try and pull a stunt like that in Florida, particularly in the WOCA listening area, it's a very MAGA country up here. I think it's going to be a real problem. And I just don't see how they can justify that as good money spent for the people that are funding these far left non-governmental organizations that are funding these people to be bussed in and flown in around the country. I had a source who was at the airport who saw a bunch of Antifa fly into Palm Beach Airport last week, as a matter of fact. How are they going to justify spending money on that when you look at the landscape of the people that are here? Clearly, Miami, yesterday I saw video of Antifa take a skateboard, surround a cop car, and smash the roof of the cop car with their skateboard. Well, the police that were in the car jumped out, went after that protester, that rioter, and out of nowhere, it was as if they sent one cop car into to see what would happen. 30 other police officers showed up and, took control of the situation. And there were female officers that I saw bowed up and, defending. This is what, they're trying to incite violence. They're trying to incite police officers to do something so they can get it on video. And what I saw was true law and order trying to provide, defense to their own law officer being attacked by these crazy that are paid agitators. They're
not crazy. They're not. The thing is, I won't give them credit. I won't call them crazy. We have a tremendous amount of people out there, sociopaths with mental illness. They're not crazy. They are being paid. They are the equivalent of a mercenary type group that they had this planned all along. George Floyd is just nothing more than their excuse to execute their plan that they've had in place. I have a friend of mine from upstate New York, and she just yesterday called me and told me about the fact that there's a beautiful horses here, horses up there, and in Wellington, and she's shipping the horses out as they literally she's riding just on her beautiful countryside. This isn't nowhere near a city at all. And they started throwing rocks and stuff at her out of nowhere. She said they kind of just jumped out of the bushes, so to speak, and threatened to kill all the horses. So she shipped the horses out of there. But the first thing she did, of course, her and her husband, was to go exercise their Second Amendment right. And the only thing that New York State would let them buy were shotguns. But she bought plenty of them. But the point is this is not America, okay? This is not about George Floyd at all. This is about taking down America. And this is what I call the new Democrat Party.
Well,
Without a
Annie,
doubt.
I don't see how they're going to win the election because this is not winning hearts and minds of Americans. This is not what I see. We've already heard the president talking about June umpteenth, somewhere in Oklahoma, he's going to have a rally. That will be the first comeback rally after, of course, the big statewide rally that we're having for our president on this Sunday from Pensacola to Miami and a crossover to Jacksonville and everything in between. We've got boaters, bikers, trucks, and drones or wings for Trump and our golf carts. Let's not forget the villages. We've got it going on everywhere. And, this is what I believe true Americans want. They want to support America first. They want to support our president. They don't want to, be fighting with what we consider to be our fellow man. We didn't do this stuff when President Barack Obama held office for 8 years. I don't recall anything like this ever happening, ever. It wasn't until President Trump took over that we started to see this Antifa around the country. And we've got plenty of video to prove that you're right. These are paid agitators. It's absolutely, it's extraordinary to me to see this happening. 100%.
Yeah, but the one thing that was happening during Obama's presidency is that he was setting the stage for this as he brought in hundreds of thousands of refugees, quote unquote, from Somalia and inundated an entire area in Minnesota. So what do we have from there? These people that are elected that are of the same caliber and supporting this kind of disruption. This has been in the works for years and years and years. So what we're fighting is not an invisible enemy anymore, like coronavirus. We're very much fighting the enemy that we are seeing taking over our streets and our citizens and our cities and burning them down and killing people, innocent people. I've watched them. There's plenty of videos out there where they killed the business owners right there. Wait a minute. When is it that President Trump, quite frankly, says, excuse me, okay, enough, especially in Seattle. Send in the military, arrest each and every one of those sons of, and get this stuff under control. Because if it doesn't get addressed and it continues to go out of control the way it is, there will be a civil war in this country. Because people are tired, sick and tired and fed up.
So what is here being deployed by the administration, in your opinion? Let them continue to expose themselves, prove out which mayors, which governors.
Well, we can't let it go on much longer. I know that you can't. We can't do that. I know that, there's a certain element of stuff of, okay, give them enough rope and they hang themselves. Well, no, they're not hanging themselves. They're hanging everybody else. And now's the time that because if we continue to let this go on, more people are going to die, unnecessarily so, at the hands of a bunch of paid thugs. And that has to be handled. That has to be handled. The president must come forth and say, enough is enough. Send in the troops, do whatever you got to do. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about going forward towards the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sweetie.
Well, I just, I want to go towards the election now because, of course, this is... We've got a lot of that should be getting handed out here shortly. The Durham report is on deck this month. We're supposed to have the Durham report dropping. Clearly, Senator Lindsey Graham's hearing with Rosenstein and others that appeared, there's a lot of names that are coming forward that are going to be subpoenaed to have to testify. I think it's 52 in total. So we've got a lot more news that's going to be coming forward that's not favorable to any of the people that were in the previous administration that have clearly worked so hard to make sure President Trump wasn't elected, and now they've been trying to get him out of office. And, of course, they're trying to deploy the strategy to have him not win in November It's all failing it's just failing in massive style. A giant mushroom cloud is the only thing they have make cycles with these violent protests, with these looters, with these rioters, with the virus, with
and I'm losing you.
You're losing me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hear reports now that they're talking about another, episode of coronavirus and Ebola and other diseases, coming out of Congo, out of Africa now. And I think they're trying to build another story to have, to just put everybody into fear so they can push the mail-in ballots and the ballot harvesting to try and steal the election. Are you seeing and hearing the same news?
I am, but one thing that we have been doing is actually petitioning the governor of the state of Florida, because these are battleground states, and these battleground states is, of course, where they're targeting this ballot harvesting. We had a bill in the legislative session, this past legislative session in the state of Florida, and it passed, and then it got killed. And it got killed by someone that you would never think was the person to kill it. But nonetheless, look, we're asking Governor DeSantis, by executive order, to ban ballot harvesting in the state of Florida. We have more than enough evidence that that is a mechanism that has been used by the Democrat Party for decades to steal elections. It's a little bit troubling to me when we have the chairman of the Republican Party of Florida also partaking in that and encouraging Republicans to vote by mail, which is in complete opposition of our president, once again. So now we are indeed petitioning the governor to do an executive order and ban this, because I fear that we will lose Florida if that happens. If that's allowed to happen. But you've got every supervisor election around the state that are Democrat supervisor elections mailing this out to all kinds of folks already.
I know. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that this is allowed to go on. I'm surprised that we haven't seen any news about it. In fact, I'm not even seeing news covering this. And so I'm assuming that Governor DeSantis is going to at some point make a statement, because I'm sure he understands that is going to be very difficult to overcome, because this is how the left cheats. And they will absolutely run roughshod over this and try to steal the election using that tactic. There's no doubt. One of the things that I find is...
Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead.
I am pleased to say that...
I believe some of the tactics the left is using are so deranged that even their own party members are starting to get their eyes open, Danny. Don't you think? I mean, when you're a Democrat, you go to the store and you're in your downtown Dallas, gets destroyed, and that was your life's work. At some point, you have to say enough's enough. Where's my Democrat mayor standing up for my rights? You just took my livelihood away. I got to believe it's having an impact to the party itself negatively.
It is. It is tremendously so, and it shows and that's why here at Trump Team 2020 Florida, we do voter registration everywhere across the 67 counties in the state of Florida, because Democrats are coming over and they are changing parties. And the one thing with us here at Trump Team 2020 Florida, our doors open to independents, to conservative Democrats that are sick and tired of this, and they're seeing, their eyes are wide open, and they are switching parties for sure. And we need to continue that effort. And we'll be doing it at all of our land locations this coming Sunday, but we do it all the time. I will give a big kudos out to Citrus County. Our president there, Billy Casey, and Melanie, his assistant, they work tirelessly there, and they pull in so many voter registrations, and you can see the numbers are staggering of the amount of Democrats that are switching over to become Republican. With that, Annie, we're on to the end of our show for today. I want to thank you, dear lady, for all that you do. Wish everyone a beautiful weekend. We look forward to seeing you all on Sunday Just pick a county and come on out and join us.
Right
God
on.
bless you all.
Happy MAGA Friday.
Happy MAGA Friday. God bless you all.
News. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump says he's finalizing an executive order to address what the White House calls disparities in America. Fox's John Roberts at the White House.
The president outlining 4 big areas that he wants to address: economic development in minority communities, confronting health care disparities, renewing calls for school choice, and encouraging police departments to meet standards for the use of force.
The president's at his golf resort in New Jersey for the weekend. 2 years ago today, President Trump held a historic first meeting with the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un.
Negotiations about North Korea's nuclear weapons have since faltered. A statement from the North Korean foreign minister saying it sees little point in maintaining a personal relationship between its leader Kim Jong-un and President Trump, while the US pursues, quote,